Right now, President Trump is making his way to Michigan for back-to-back events marking his 100th day in office during his second term. The president just moments ago, as he was leaving the White House, took several questions from reporters, and notably, he said he believes a trade deal with India could be coming soon. He also said this about the tariff relief he's about to give automakers.
We're just giving them a little chance because in some cases they can't get the parts fast enough. So this is just a little transition. It's a little bit of help for people that will be doing a great job.
CNN business and politics correspondent Vanessa Yurkevich is standing by. But first, let's go to Jeff Zeleny in Warren, Michigan, where the president is heading today. Jeff, walk us through the president's plans and the messaging.
Brianna, there is no mistaking the fact that President Trump is choosing Macomb County, Michigan for a reason. He won this county by 14 points last November on his way to a much narrower but decisive win in Michigan and the sweep of all battlegrounds. And for the president, this is his first real return to not only the campaign trail, if you will, even though he's not running for anything, but also to sell his economic agenda. So we are here in Warren, Michigan, of course. This is the heart of the automotive industry. And the president is coming along with some relief for automakers who have been really concerned about these on-again, off-again tariff policies. He's offering a reprieve on some of those tariffs and specifically the auto parts. Of course, the industry is so connected between Canada and Mexico and the United States. So offering a reprieve on some of the auto parts as well as some of the double tariffs, if you will, tariffs that have stacked upon other tariffs. That really has been a central theme here as we've been talking to voters here in Macomb County and the surrounding areas. They've been concerned about his tariff policies. Even Trump supporters have said that they believe there's been some confusion. So the president clearly coming here to Michigan to, I don't know if you can see, there's a sign behind here that says 100 Days of Greatness. Certainly that's how the White House views it, but talking to many supporters and detractors alike, anxiety is a word that comes up again and again, Boris and Brianna.
Yeah, big signs can be tough in politics, as we've learned over time. Vanessa, walk us through the significance of Trump saying this trade deal with India could be coming, and also this easing on auto tariffs.
Yeah, well, auto tariffs first. I've been speaking to sources within the U.S. auto industry who have said for weeks now that this tariff that is coming on auto parts, set to take effect on Saturday, that 25% tariff, that was their biggest concern. Because even U.S. automakers import a ton of foreign parts, even if they're assembling the vehicle here in the United States. And as Jeff mentioned, there's a little bit of sort of a rebate coming to those automakers that even if they import the foreign car parts, they're going to get sort of a percentage discount if they assemble the vehicle here in the United States. But Ford, Stellantis, General Motors, they all still assemble vehicles in other countries like Canada and Mexico. So this is an effort by the president to get them to move manufacturing back to the United States. But of course, the automakers are saying in statements right now that they're appreciative of this reprieve. But ultimately, there is still that 25% tariff that is hitting foreign cars being imported and foreign car parts being imported. And economists have suggested that those prices, those tariffs are going to get handed down to the consumer at the end of the day. Also, as you mentioned, a deal potentially with India, a trade deal. This is something that we saw markets move on. First, we heard from the Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick saying that he had a deal done with one country. He was not specific about which country, but we just heard, as you mentioned, from the president there saying that he is close to a deal with India. So is that one deal or two deals? Any way you put it, though, we saw the Dow pop on that news. The Dow up now more than 300 points. As investors I've been speaking to for weeks now, Brianna, out of everything they've wanted to hear from the president is not that the fact that they're talking with other countries, that they're negotiating with other countries. They want to see deals. And we're getting indications from the administration, Brianna, that there may be an actual deal coming soon.
My next guest is Corey Carver. She's the founder of Grove Fruit Growers in Boise, Idaho. And Corey, thanks for joining us. Your business grows mangoes in Cambodia, processes them in Vietnam, and only just began selling here in the United States back in November. What has been the impact of the tariffs on your market here?
Hi, first, thanks for having me. The impact, so we were able to absorb a 10% increase. So it's gone up to over 50%, but over the next 90 days, we have 10% tariff, and then it goes up to over 90 or over 50% in 90 days. So we were able to absorb the extra 10% within the supply chain. We've built a supply chain based off of trust and mutual respect, and we've all taken a little hit. It hasn't been easy, but we've all taken a hit. It's a struggle when countries like Mexico, for example, have 0% tariffs. So it's not really a long-term solution. But the impact to our business is that we've had to short containers that can't make it to the US market. And we've had to absorb the extra costs, which we've been able to do. But in the next 90 days, tariffs are expected to go up to over 50%. And there's no way we can absorb that high of a tariff. And so we won't be able to continue doing business, and business will go to Mexico or places with lower tariffs, because it's essentially mango, it's a commodity, and price is important. And I thought when we put this business into place, I have a 110-acre mango farm in Cambodia. I thought we'd be able to get into the US market, build a US standard supply chain within Cambodia, and get into the US market. But now it looks like with these new tariffs, that isn't the case.
What about the impact on Cambodia?
Well, Cambodia is still reeling from the Pol Pot genocide that happened after the U.S. pulled out of Vietnam. There was a communist takeover, a genocide in Cambodia, and a quarter of their population was killed, their entire educated class. And USAID, which is the U.S. government's agency for international development, has spent over $75 million in the last 15 years developing the agriculture supply chains to meet international standards and to improve standards for impoverished Cambodians who don't even have access to clean drinking water, can't send their kids to school. And without these opportunities to send into markets like the U.S., then I fear that it'll be a big loss for farmers who are already struggling in Cambodia. And realistically, China's going to step in and take over where the U.S. is pulling out. The U.S. has shown leadership in Cambodia over the last 15 years. And when we step out, China will be right behind us stepping in. In fact, Xi Jinping, Cambodia or Chinese Prime Minister, just was in Cambodia last week, meeting with the Cambodians. So as U.S. leadership is taken out, is removed overseas, then countries like China will step in right behind us, which is exactly what we don't want, ironically.
Yeah. Cory Carver, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time today.